We're the Hebrew Israelites who come in week and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, also known as the United Snakes of America. Right, to wake up the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, the people on this sign, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, Native American, Seminole Indian, Speckled Bird. All right, time is very short. You got to repent, acknowledge your offense, pray for forgiveness, and get back in order in record time, because, you know, you can't see what the hell is going on right now, then you deserve every bit of what is coming, right? Your judgment has arrived. Anyway, first and foremost, we face the east, right? All praises due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Kadash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops. Great millstone, even the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. Today is the Shabbat, Salakia, Shabbat Shalom, all right? And Shabbat Shalom, salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, right? Shabbat Shalom to you all. Is that the beloved brother, Isaiah Allah, Idaho? Shabbat Shalom to you, beloved. So I'm going to read 1 Peter, right? Because the least of the flock has made their move. And I just want to point that out real quick. And then, yep, Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to play this bit of audio that is just loaded. It's a treasure trove. I'm going to play it all the way through, and then I might play bits and pieces and stop and do some comment and get some scriptures in between. Because this devil, this is his last play. He's going for the bomb, right? So he went with trying to make Charlie God. Charlie Brown is now died for our sins. Charlie Brown died for our sins, is what they're saying. Okay, so and they're taking that, right? They're putting that together with white supremacy and pushing it all the way to the top. And if you got anything ill to say about it, then this is the end game. All right, so anyway, let's get the end game. 1 Peter 4:7. Right? And then we'll play a little some of this remarkable, this guy Max Blumenthal, who is a small hat. Okay? 1 Peter 4, verse 7, which we all know well. All right? But the end of all things is at hand, right? Therefore, Salah. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Okay, so this is the end game. What does it say? Let's read it again. 1 Peter 4:7. But the end game of all, Salakia. Okay? But the end of all things is at hand. The end game is at hand. This dude is like this. Hey, I got one play left. Right? Ready? I'm going to throw this thing straight up in the air. Right? The bomb. Hail Mary. What do you want to call it? Okay? They've enlisted Christianity, as it were, the Klan style Christianity. They done unleashed it and made it law. We will ruin you. We'll dox you. What do you call it? We'll destroy you. You know. So this is this is the end game for them. All right. You can't say nothing bad about me, and everything is bad about you. But you can't say nothing about me, and when you do, I'm gonna lock you up and shoot you with a firing squad. So, and this goes to all the have-nots. If you're not of what they call the upper class, or you know, there's only the upper class, and if you ain't in that, then you're a pauper. If you're in the class of paupers, right? And I'm not talking about pop locking. I'm talking about you, right? A couple of million. No, no, you got to be billion and up. You got to have real money. Okay, ain't no millionaires in the upper class. You understand? So that's gonna make a lot of people mad. Oh no, I got money. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't come from money. See, what's being revealed right now are the kings and queens of what we call the world. The world, the earth is given in the hand of the wicked. Well, who is the wicked? Well, the ones that are running shit that their family lines, right? These, 12, you could call them 12 families, but there are many. Those are the king. They emerge and say, we've been running this shit from day one. You niggas don't mean shit. So, but the end of all things, the end game of all things is at hand. Meaning, the least of the flock is doing what? Everything. They're emerging as everything. The devil, the architect, right? The serpent, behind everything, behind slavery. It was all you, right? And you sold out your own people. Called yourself up, put a mask, put a Negro mask over your face to hide yourself, right? Now it's all coming out. Okay, so let's watch this. So lock the door with me. I think I got this queued up. And this is Max Blumenthal, who is a small hat. And he goes in, and he's causing their own tongue to fall upon themselves. But what he's saying, and this goes on, I think it's Chris Hedges. Let me see. Thought I had it queued. Okay, so it's Chris Hedges' show. He opens the show with, now you want to hear about terror? What about me? Right? Well, I've been terrorized. Okay, so let me cue this.
An IQ of 85 to 115 is considered average in the US. An IQ of
to debate a Zionist apparatchik at Newsweek named Joshua Hammer, and Dave Smith mopped the floor with him. He's very effective. He
I'm gonna pick it up right here.
Human rights abuses, and the crowd was clearly with him. And after this summit, Charlie Kirk was bombarded with furious text messages, phone calls. There may have been meetings as well, very tense meeting.
Okay, so let me bring us up to speed here. All right, on my left is that guy. His name is Chris Hedges, and then Max Blumenthal. My thumb is over his head. So they're kind of just riffing on what has happened after the so-called assassination and what they're using it for, and how you can clearly see that this is what they're using for the end game, as in the end of all things is at hand, or the end game of all things is at hand. So we'll listen to this all the way through. It's going to be a good 10 minutes because there's so much that's being said. So I'm going to play it, and then we'll come back and we'll break it down piece by piece. Here we go.
Well, with his donors, the people who built him up, and they said, we built you up. We can take all of this away from you.
Talk about the small hat.
Don't stop this, we are laying down the law. And this offended him, alienated him.
Okay, he's talking about what happened to Charlie. Now, he said that they were at this particular thing where he kind of blew up. They saw it, and they said, look, we could either help you or hurt you. And he's talking about Charlie's reaction to the small hats coming at him like the mob, okay? That's what they're talking about. So everything is being driven by the small hats, and this is some of their dirt coming out, because you got to understand that Max Blumenthal, this guy, right, is a small hat. He's privy to a lot of inside information, and when he starts saying, well, my sources tell me, boy, he's got what they call those you wish sources, of his family and those people, right, they stay well connected. So he's one that's going against the grain. How long before they go after him? If they could go after the way he talks, he's going to talk about how Charlie was under the gun and he was worried that at any moment the goon squad, the mafia, is going to come after him, right? We're talking about Netanyahu and them. That mafia. And then they said that Trump is just as scared and doing exactly what they got him doing. And it all makes sense. The way he's explaining this, it all makes sense. So listen close. Here we go from the top.
In place. Charlie Kirk is under pressure from his own grassroots on the issue of Israel. Israel's exerting under Netanyahu so much control on Trump amid a genocide that the grassroots have turned against it. And if you look at recent polling, YouGov polling, Pew polling, all of them show about only 25% of Republicans under 35 support Israel over the Palestinians. If you actually pay attention to what Nick Fuentes, who's the most influential right-wing, America First streamer, says, they're not just upset over Jewish influence. They're not just being anti-Jewish. They're actually upset by the same things that upset us. The deliberate starvation of a civilian population unfolding in real time, and then watching their president just fold to a foreign apartheid state. And so this pressure was building within Charlie Kirk's camp, and Charlie Kirk himself was beginning to turn, and it all exploded out in the open at the Student Action Summit, which I believe was in Tampa, Florida, in July 2025.
Very important.
And that's where
Listen.
Charlie Kirk brought Tucker Carlson, someone who had already turned on this issue, on stage to not only talk about how Jeffrey Epstein was possibly a Mossad agent, but to call for those who had gone and fought for Israel, American Jews who had gone to fought for Israel's military rather than the U.S. military, to be stripped of their citizenship. And he called out Bill Ackman, one of the most influential Zionist billionaires in the U.S., who's a Netanyahu cutout, who had been sort of manipulating and bullying Harvard into submission. His money got Claudine Gay as president out at Harvard. He mocked Bill Ackman as a financial con artist. He literally called him a scam artist and questioned where his money came from. And the crowd was cheering and delighting in this entire spectacle. Megyn Kelly from Fox was calling Jeffrey Epstein a Mossad agent. Then Charlie Kirk opened up the floor to a debate on the very issue of Zionism and brought on an anti-Zionist Jew, a comedian named Dave Smith, to debate a Zionist apparatchik at Newsweek named Joshua Hammer. And Dave Smith mopped the floor with him. He's very effective. He was also talking about human rights abuses, and the crowd was clearly with him. And after this summit, Charlie Kirk was bombarded with furious text messages, phone calls. There may have been meetings as well, very tense meetings as well, with his donors, the people who built him up. And they said, we built you up. We can take all of this away from you.
Very important.
If you don't stop this. We are laying down the law. And this offended him, alienated him. He was not used to being talked to like that, where he, as though he were property. But, when you join the firm, you don't get to leave. And at the same time, I was told by a longtime friend of Charlie Kirk that he was frightened by...
Here's a pro tip.
That's that inside information that Blumenthal has.
Way to get the government to pay your rent or your
Blumenthal has an inside.
Basically,
you wish.
Mafia was reading him the riot act.
You hear this? See?
And he wasn't
this
the only
is
one.
very important.
I
Listen,
was told that
Donald Trump.
the source is someone who knows people in the White House.
I'm going to go back
Donald Trump's frightened. Donald Trump is afraid to defy Netanyahu. He's
hear
afraid
this?
about what can happen.
Now, this is important because he knows
Cutout, who had been sort of
this guy,
manipulating and bullying Harvard into submission. His money got
Max Blumenthal has connections.
He mocked Bill Ackman as a financial con artist. He literally called him a scam artist and questioned where his money came from. And the crowd was cheering and delighting in this entire spectacle. Megyn Kelly from Fox was calling Jeffrey Epstein a Mossad agent. Then Charlie Kirk opened up the floor to a debate on the very issue of Zionism and brought on an anti-Zionist Jew, a comedian named Dave Smith, to debate a Zionist apparatchik at Newsweek named Joshua Hammer. And Dave Smith mopped the floor with him. He's very effective. He was also talking about human rights abuses, and the crowd was clearly with him. And after this summit, Charlie Kirk was bombarded with furious text messages, phone calls. There may have been meetings as well, very tense meetings as well, with his donors, the people who built him up. And they said, we built you up. We can take all of this away from you if you don't stop this. We are laying down the law.
The firm.
And this offended him, alienated him. He was not used to being talked to like that, where he as though he were property. But when you join the firm, you don't get to leave. And at the same time, I was told by a longtime friend of Charlie Kirk that he was frightened by the way he was being treated. Basically, a mafia was reading him the riot act. And he wasn't the only one who was frightened. I was told that in this, the source is someone who knows people in the White House. Donald Trump's frightened. Donald Trump is afraid to defy Netanyahu. He's afraid about what can happen. And I was told that during one of Netanyahu's, or several of Netanyahu's recent visits to the U.S., I think he's made 4 visits this year, which is unprecedented. Listening devices were planted by Israeli agents on the Secret Service's emergency response vehicles. Stingray devices, some kind of listening device, electronic surveillance device. This was found by the Secret Service. It was told to the White House. Obviously, the White House kept it under wraps. And this has, made people nervous inside the White House and the national security team. And this is not something unprecedented. Politico in 2019 reported, citing 3 former U.S. officials, that Israel had planted Stingray devices around the White House to spy on Trump's cell phone communications. Boris Johnson, the former Israeli PM, wrote in his memoir that Netanyahu went to use his personal toilet, and afterwards his personal security team found a listening device in his toilet, immediately afterwards. Tony Blair told his own team, when you go to Israel, do not speak about anything sensitive in government buildings or cars. So I don't think I'm being fed a bunch of conspiracy theories here, and what I reported based on background sourcing matches up with the things that Charlie Kirk said in public, that he was being bombarded by what he called Jewish stakeholders, meaning his funders, and that he felt that he could not express his own views anymore as an American.
Now, let me say this, okay? Israel, right, openly brags about killing heads of state. Oh, well, we killed this many Hamas leaders and da-da-da-da, and we killed this the president of this country, and right? Right? Isn't that what they do? They Palantir, they hire Palantir to wire up the pagers to blow up in people's face and assassinate. Those are assassinations. No? So, how hard is it to put together that assassination, right, has the small hats written all over it, right? But I'm going to take it a step further. They want people to talk like that. They want, we showed you JFK all over again. Now go. Get your conspiracy theories, because they're watching everything attached. The main thing Blumenthal is saying is surveillance, surveillance, surveillance. And then they throw up this obvious psyop where this guy is shot, and then they make it obvious that any sleuth could go in and find 16 ways to Saturday that they set that up, right? And if you go out and say it, then the Palantir algorithm is going to get you. And they're coming for you. So this is where we're at. This is the end game, okay? And they play their card, and if you can't see it, right? Who assassinates, right? Heads of state, Who's doing that right now? Who's bragging about it? Who's setting off pagers? Who's doing surgical strikes during peace talks? Who's doing that? And then you can't turn around, put two and two together. This dude gets his dome, right? He didn't protect his neck, right? You got to protect your neck out there, okay? And so he gets shot, and who benefits from that? Now they're passing all kind of law. But you can't say nothing about no small hats. And who's getting any traction out of this? Well, those that assassinate people. They're the ones that are benefiting. How hard is that to put together? So this is what? The least of the flock. This Jeremiah 49 and 20. Let me get that. Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel, the Lord. Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he had purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. The least of the flock is doing their thing. They're in their end game. What is their end game? You do everything we tell you to do, and if you don't, we kill you. First thing, shut up. Don't talk about what we did. Don't talk about, the skullduggery. All right, don't talk about the children. Okay? Don't talk about how we get down behind closed doors. It's not your business. You just do what we tell you to do and you'll be all right. Right? This is where they're at with it. And guess who's not, Jake will do it. Jake been doing it. Guess who's not going to put up with that? Esau. Okay? Yeah, Amalek is Esau, but Amalek got a lot of brethren out there. Okay? A lot. Amalek got a lot of brothers, and they want some of that blessing. And they ain't getting it. They see that now. They're mad. Right? Some of them are on the list of the have-nots. I know a couple of fools think they got money. You ain't gonna make it. Right? You ain't in that club. You just a millionaire. You ain't got no long money like you think you do. Like you think you do. So anyway, how is the least of the flock? The least of the flock is drawing who out? He's making their habitations desolate. Okay? Who is he drawing out? He's drawing out the other Edomites. Okay? Surely the least of the flock shall draw. Who are we talking about? Concerning Edom. Yeah? And I'm not trying to change anything, but let's just look at it. Jeremiah 49. $49.20. Who is it concerning? Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, right? And his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Who are we talking about? The Edomites. Surely the least of the flock, Amalek, shall draw them. Who's them? The Edomites. Shall draw them out. Draw them out how? And motherfucker, you didn't share the blessing. I'm like, what about mine? Right? Oh, well, we're not white. You're white. No, nigga, you niggas, whatever you are, you got everything that we don't. Right? We're white. Right? We're supposed to have everything. Right? And hey, surely he shall make who's their habitations? You Edomites. No? Their habitations are becoming desolate. They're the ones on welfare. They're the ones with their handout. They're the ones getting kickbacks. They're the ones getting a free ride. But now the free ride is over. By who? The least of the flock. Drew them out. What happened in Nepal? Okay, weren't they all Nepalese, right? Well, they're all, right? Let's say, for example, the caste system in India, right? Where you got the untouchables at the bottom, and then you got whatever it is, the sheiks at the, I don't know what they are, at the top, right? But whatever they are, they're all Indians, except for the Israelites over there that they call the untouchables. The point is that some of those Indians are like this. Look, I'm an Indian too. Well, why are you getting more than me? So whoever's at the top is going to draw out the have-nots. Why? Because they're like this. No, I'm Indian too. Well, that's what's being said here. Sure, they're the least of flock. What are we concerned? Who is being taught is saying over and over who's being spoken. What is this concerning? This is concerning Edom. Right here, Jeremiah 7. The header reads the prophecy against Edom. Jeremiah 49:7. Concerning Edom. Okay, so that goes all the way up to 20. 17. Also, Edom shall be a desert. See, we're talking about Edom all the way up, right? Therefore, now we get to 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman, Edomites. Still talking about Edomites. Surely he, who is he? The least of the flock, shall make there, who is there? The rest of the Edomites. So the Edomites. Why did Charlie Brown get shot? Because the Edomites are mad. Right? Charlie Brown was working with the small hats until, he didn't want to. You got to watch out for that thing, because all of it can be a psyop. All of it can be set up to see whatever your opinion is, right or wrong, about Charlie Brown. See? All they need is 2 words to make you an offender. Let's get that. Because that is the end game. What is it? What is Esau's end game right now? What is his, offender for a word? That's his end game. Passing unjust laws. Bear with me while I get this law. Offender. Isaiah 29:21, I'm going to read it from right here. Isaiah 29:21, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Now, this whole thing about making a man an offender for a word, really, that's a trap set for us. Who's reproving in the gate? That's talking about it. And let me say this for the record real quick. You know what? There's nothing more valuable than a prophet. Right now, the prophets are the most valuable men upon the face of the earth. All right? Lord willing, I'm one of those men, but I know this for a fact. The prophets, whoever those men are the most important men on the face of this earth right now. Who make a man an offender for a word and lay a snare for him. Who's that? That's us. That reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. So that this trap, right? This Charlie Brown trap that you think, right, is about college kids, right? Stopping them from, whatever. Really, it's about us, right? But a lot of things. What happened to Charlie Brown? Okay, what happened to Charlie Brown is the least of the flock drew them out, right? drew who out? The shooter. Shooter got drawn out. He was mad. Why? Because right now, what are we seeing? We are seeing there's no such thing as America First. It was a farce. Okay? Who was Charlie Brown working for? Small hats. Okay? If it's not America First, who is it first? Small hats. So, small hats are the least of the flock. Who's coming after Charlie Brown, who was working for the small? Who's coming after him? Them. The least of the flock drew them out. Who was them? The Edomites. That's what it says. Okay? Who's going after the small hat? The Edomites. We're going to watch the Edomites go after themselves. How can his kingdom stand? Right? It's going to be noised abroad that these Amalekites, right, that are masquerading as Jake, as us, it's going to come out that they're just Edomites. They're lying. I mean, it's pretty easy to see. Just because you got a little more color, right, for whatever, from all of that, I ain't gonna even, gotta be very careful what comes out of your mouth nowadays. So we'll just let that one ride. But anyway, I pretty much said it. Okay, what is the end game? The end game is, can't say nothing bad about an Amalekite, no matter whether it's true. Truth don't matter. Truth is what I tell you to say or what you can't or can't say. That's what the truth is. You can't be out, right, saying how about Shimmy how shot. You can't do that, right? And if you do, then is what it is. So, I mean, and that's what it is. It's exactly that. Okay. We got offended for a word. Let's get unrighteous decrees. Because they have to they got to get all of this lined up first, right? Before they switch to focus to us. Right? This is, I mean, we just read that. We'll come back to that and read again. Who's being fingered? Make a man an offender for a word. What man? Him that reproved. That's talking about us. All right, and that, what does that mean? That we're the most important and feared men on the face of the earth. Right? Yeah, they're going to come and grab up a whole bunch of people, but we are at the top of the list. So, come and get me. Do what you got to do. Let's get this thing over with. He's still going in captivity. Fucking devil. Forgot where I was going. Unrighteous. If anybody knows what it is to try to type on a cracked screen, unrighteous decrees, put a space in, and right grievousness. Isaiah 10:1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Read it in the God's Word translation. How horrible, Isaiah 10:1 in God's Word translation. How horrible it will be for those who make unjust laws and who make oppressive regulations. What is that? An offender for a word. All right? What is an offender for a word? Okay, what word is that? Anti-Shem. They're coming after us with that. Who's passing these laws? Who's saying that Charlie Brown was a staunch proponent of small hats, right? When really he was running for his life and he was scared knowing he was going to get shot, whether they took him to the underground bunker or not. We're not quite sure, how the psyop played out. But right now, if you say his name and the algorithm searches you out, you're in trouble. Going into what? Hey, we're real close to thought crime. We're real close to that C-hip, the C-hip snitch. You won't be able to think. You won't be able to have a thought without the C-hip snitch. Okay? So, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. All right? I mean, I could go on. Got some personal reasons that I'll go ahead and close the camp, but, how terrible it will be for the one who enacts unjust decrees, for those who write oppressive laws that they have prescribed. Okay? And it's pretty simple to see, white people can do anything they want to and not be held accountable. We can't be held accountable for anything we do. We're not wrong. So don't even try to say it. And slavery never happened while you're at it. So this is the end game. What you gonna do, nigga? We hanging niggas again. What you gonna do? All right. So gird up thy loin. Gird up thy loins like a man. Let's get that. Gird up thy. Now like a man, damn it. Job 40:7. All right, and I'm gonna end. I'm gonna head out on this. Job 40:7. Because the famine of the word is coming too, man. Look, how many times can we say the same thing over? If you don't see this thing right now, then F you, man. We can keep saying it until we can, but if you can't see it right now, Job 40:7 in King James. Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee and declare thou unto me. I'm gonna read that again with the correct inflection. Job 40:7 in the King James. Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee and declare thou unto me. All right. In the New King James. Now prepare yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. God's Word translation. Brace yourself like a man. I will ask you, and you will teach me. I don't know about teach. Good News Translation. Now stand up straight and answer my questions. Hey, Most High's checking you right. Hey, you better get right. Answer what questions? Okay. Well, there are many parables. Why speakest thou? There's a question. Why speakest thou unto them in parables? Right? What's the answer to that? Why speakest thou unto them in parables? Because they're of the elect. Cut to the chase. What does it mean? Okay. What questions? Now stand up straight and stand up what? The straight gate. Now this is stand straight up, right? But stand at the position of attention. And answer my question. What question? Why speakest thou unto them? Well, here's the answer. What's the answer to this question? Right? No, that's not the Most High's question. Here's a question from the Most High. Don't I feed all the birds, nigga? What are you tripping on? You think it's hard for me to feed your black ass? That's a question from the Most High. Job 40:7. Now stand up straight and answer my question. That's the Good News Translation. So when the Most High asks you a question, you better have the answer. All right? Here's a question asked of Yahushua. Why are you, why, we see what you're doing. Why are you doing it? Because they ain't of the elect. It behooves you to know the answers to these questions. Right? And here's what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing everybody lose their damn mind. And we already know. We're so seasoned. We've been living with what is happening. We've been living with that for more than 10 years, 15 years, 17 years. Preparing. Now it's here, we're just laughing. Everybody's scrambling, getting scared. Yeah, it's coming, motherfucker. What you gonna do? So those of us that are rooted and grounded, we're laughing right now. And it's amazing. And I mean, it hasn't even really started moving yet, but I can see where it's going, and all you can do is sit back, continue to rehearse the righteous acts and know that you were given plenty of time to wrap your head around. That's the only thing that's going to keep you right. You know it's going to be fucking, that this is it. Just to know that this is it and that anything can happen, right? I believe it was the Elder Karatas out in Las Vegas sit down, right? GMS Las Vegas sit down. Any moment, any minute, some shit could go down. At any moment, some shit could go down, right? And we're there. And when it does go down, I'm like, hey, look at everything else, motherfuckers going. It done went down. You just gotta endure until the end, right? So we're at that time. It's beautiful. But what we're not ready for is how these devils are going to destroy themselves in our face. You should be able to see that as working a work in this time. And when it seems like these devils are right about to pounce on us, here come some of their own and jumping in the way. And like, wait a minute, and foiling their plan. Can you see that yet? It's great. Anyway, it's Ecclesiastes. Beautiful times, brethren. Beautiful times that we're in. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. On the way up. Let's hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. Philippians 2 and 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right? So, I mean, is what it is at this point. You know? Either shouldn't be too hard to see that the world as we know it is coming to an end. The question is, what are you going to do about it? See, people don't understand the severity. Right? Oh, it's not going to happen. It'll blow over and it'll be, no, we're waiting on an event. There's an event that is very, very close, weeks away, if that. Right? They were talking about how the NATO war or the European war over there is going to get itself underway, and what they used, right? What they said was going to be the main factor when shit starts popping off over in Europe, right, coming up real quick here. They said that darkness, when the power goes out, right? That's what's going to cause all the chaos over there, because energy is a big deal in Europe, or the lack thereof. The lack of energy and how flimsy and fragile their whole grid is, right? Where the energy comes from, how you got to use oil, and it's cold over there. It ain't, it ain't the desert like over here in Babylon. But, bottomless pit, let's get that, all right? Because, and again, you got to be spiritual. And I'm trying to close. The bottomless pit is 18. Revelation. Is it 18? Or is it 20? 20. Revelation 20:1, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having a key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. Bottomless pit represents Europe, whether you understand that or not. It's the spiritual thing. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little. See, where did all of that take place? In Europe, in the caves and hills of the Caucasus Mountains. And if you understand that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemashai, it makes perfect sense. So, if you don't get it, you can go F yourself, right? Because you ain't part of this thing, right? Lord willing, we're able to maintain that frequency until the end, right? That's what it means to endure until the end, to vibrate at the frequency of truth without being upended by a stumbling block, all right? So anyway, I'm going to face the east, right? I'm going to face the east, and just stay up, it's coming. Whatever's coming, but know this too. If Esau had it his way, we would already be at civil war. But what happened was that shooter turned out to be one of them, thwarted him, right? Now they're all jacked up, making desperation decisions, right? Like going with the whole racism. Well, Charlie Kirk was a racist. We were going to push that. That ain't working. Oh, you want us to bow down? Jake is figuring it out real quick, so look forward to the fireworks that are coming real quick. With that, it's the East. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Bahashim Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops, great millstone, even the elders that came before them that taught us is true. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and its sincerity, hopeful like tabernacle day. All right. Shabbat shalom to you all.